Hi, Eric here from Laser Scanning TV. This is my first news episode for 26. And as always, I have the newest, hottest stuff from the market for scanner hardware, software workflows, UOVs, and some upcoming events. Stay tuned if you like to be informed and not miss the hottest stuff. 26, and the first article, the first company I present in 26 is Hexagon. Hexagon launched Geo-monitoring tool. It's a web platform for safety monitoring, and not what you're thinking. It's not like a long-range laser scanner. This product works together with the IDS Geo Radar, as it is in combination with the Geo Radar system. And Geo Radar, they use it. I think we can see it here. Good, you can see it. So you can have like a 3D mesh model, and then you're monitoring maybe like here a face of a mountain, and you can do it live. And if you see there any movements, then you get information about the monitoring tool, or you can see some changes. That's something new. I think it's first time. I think, of course, Hexagon have monitoring product, but I think for me it's this first time that they have such product. For me, would be super interested what core technology they use. I know Leica have also this XR reality, also this cloud sharing platform technology, what they use for a couple of years. Maybe this is based on this together then with the monitoring data, but or is a complete new development. I don't know. Maybe you can write us in the comments if you are IDS expert or Leica people that can give us the answer. What is the technology behind them, what they're using here for the web platform? And then we go straight in the air. There's some interesting part here from Europe. The European government or association for European Union Aviation Safety Agency, EASA. Yeah, there it's some regulation, especially to the BVLS. It's a name in German, so this means behind visual line of sight regulation. They know that there will be some changes if your drone have some security parts that maybe can be allowed in the future, but they know that the development may be quicker as the governmental regulation, and they're open now advisory board for, where you can have a pre-application services from that you can come with your system and ask for maybe getting special permission to use your system earlier as the official government regulation allow it. So that's my understanding. And this makes sense because we see there it's they counter US in Europe from security threat to commercial opportunity. Also with these, especially these beyond visual line of sight regulation and some change, it's maybe in the future possible to use more drone application as now, especially in cities and other application. And with this in your head and outlook in the future, some people thinking that the drone market or the UAV market can move from 6.6 billion euros, no dollars, in 25 to over 20 billion euros in 2030, what is approximately 3 times more. And of course, this is not only in mapping, also not for survey tasks, it's I think for the whole drone market. But if we can double the 3 times of using drones, that would be also very good for our industry. Also very good news. I think we will see more drones and UAVs in the future. And then we're looking, making a look to the US side, and last year they make a stronger regulation end of the year. And I think this regulation shows that all drones was not built in the US, also coming from Asia, from Europe, somewhere else. It's actually not get flight permission with the newest model. I think it's models already people have allowed to fly, but new systems get no license in the US. Only if you have parts of the system, and that's not major part, and 65% are built in America. So from my understanding, it's allowed. And there is some blue list. There's some system what is allowed, like some FLIR drones from Teledyne and some Victor drones. Also there's some survey drones, they're coming not from the US and get permission, but basically it's all drones outside from the US market have actually no permission. Also new drones will not get new permissions to flight. That means there will be a big movement in the American UAV mapping industry. I think you will be see more American company who have to develop system for the future. And I think the point is, I think with the dominance of Chinese technology, I think that is a serious threat to security. And from this point, I can understand a little bit the way to go. That I think from the commercial point, you will be not move people from Asian brands to Western brands. So I think you have to do it by regulation to get a chance for nation-built technology. Then we stay in the air. There's a new company. For me, it's new, but I don't know, some of the American people, they watch the show, they maybe know this company. It's Stitch 3D. It's also, I think it's a former US military guy who started this company. And I think this is a web-based viewer with point clouds, images and vector data. And you can see this all. For me, it's a new company. Maybe I think core market is in the US. I think we have also other system on the market. Of course, I think DJI have some systems, and I think maybe Pointera and some others. I think that's especially here for the US market. We stay in the area of point cloud viewer, web-based or non-web-based. There's a very interesting news from UK, from the company Vesus, and they are now officially launched their sharing and collaboration platform. The name is Arena4U. We have already the software Arena4D, also the Arena product line, like a viewer, what you can use, a video generating tool for your desktop application. But now they have here 2 new tools. You have a cloud hostess tool, and then you can also install this on your computer as an on-premise. And what they're doing, they allowed you, I think, real-time teams work together, instant sharing and project management, and you can loading their point clouds. I think auto images possible, maps, IFC models, also CAD models, and also Gaussian splats. I think that's good for the Gaussian community. This system is now officially released. I think we show some early stage on the InterGeo, but now it's officially released, and you can buy it. Yeah. And from the hardware market in the terrestrial scanner world, I have only one update, and this is here that we have some news from ZF. And they told us that now the Flex Scan, also their mobile scan version based on the ZF Imager, now can support at the full speed of the 5024A and S model. So this means you can have a faster rotating mirror, and you can then capturing more data in the same times or more dense data sets in the same time. So that's your advantage to use this. Let us go more forward. We go to Faro now. There was a big announcement. I think if you have followed the show, you know this Faro was acquired last summer from Ametek. I think the final was in September. And create now 2 new business units. And one business unit is the Faro Creaform unit. This means the metrology instruments and the Creaform metrology instruments is now one business unit. From Faro sides, we got the trackers and the measurement arms, and I don't think they're in software. And Creaform, who was long time for handheld scanners and also handheld scanner what was tracked. This is now one business unit with one product. I think that's a good fit. You have the arm and the tracker side, and now you have also the one leading company with the handheld scanner. You have a very bright portfolio. Stitch good together. And on the other hand, our market, AEC, the terrestrial scanner market, SLAM scanner, Blink, they're going now in a new business unit, what called them Faro Insights. And in Insights, they're working, they get a new name. They are now together with another Ametek company they call them Virtec. And Virtec is a company who have 2 products. And maybe I show you here, we can see it. They have one project is cameras what do AI inspection of production parts. We can see it here. And the other one is laser projectors, where you can project designs on realistic objects. It looks for me on the first point not that is a very good fit like it is in the metrology part of Faro, where this really is stitched together, because this is a little bit complete different. But I can imagine for the long run that you have the capturing side and then they take the projection side for maybe staking out some designs in the field. So in the construction, that you use these projectors to show the construction lines on the ground or on the wall where you have to place some items. So if you combine this together in one system with one software, this can do sense. Actually, I don't know the price tag of these Vertex systems. What is the price? So maybe it's actually a little bit higher, but maybe they bring some lower price system. But this is now my idea, that you have a good fit of both together, then make this combination on the long run also sense. But I think on the short term, we will not see so many advantage from this. To be honest, I don't know the Vertex company before. So for me, it's this company also very new. And then we go also to fancy stuff. I saw here something from Hong Kong and robotics. And here we have a Unitree, and they're based on top different sensors and also a laser sensor. And this Unitree, yeah, they're walking in the city forest or in parks in Hong Kong, and here in the Hong Kong wetland park and in another park. And they use AI to monitoring the animal life and who is there, but also interesting, it's that they use it here for the laser sensors for tree surveys, and that means with the system there are can do like in 30 to 60 minutes the job what before done people on the whole day. And they use there these I have to look different things. I think they measure the location, the height, the crown of the system, and if you have this information and the steam, then you can also calculate the biomass. Also they make like inspection of the forest asset by robodogs by using laser technology. So maybe very interesting. Maybe we see something also in the future here. So, and in the end, I think if you like to see the newest, coolest stuff, the first big event in this year, like every year, is the Geo Week in the US. It's stay in Denver and is from 16 to 18 in Denver Convention Center. So if you are from the North American market, so that's your option to see the newest stuff real. And we will be also there and have a booth there. Also if you are interested and like to meet us and see us real, then you are welcome on our booth. So maybe put our location here inside in the video subscription. I think that's possible. And if you are an English listener and from the European market and maybe close to Germany, there's another big event. It's in March, and this is the Digitalbau. Is a German name. It's a digital construction, and that is the leading system. No, this is the leading conference in for digital application and solutions in the construction industry in Germany. And I think this show is only every 2 years, mostly in Cologne. I don't know if they will switch to Munich too. So, but this is not every year, it's every 2 years. So if you are maybe on close neighbor countries interested in this topic, then you can go end of March 24 to 26 to Cologne. So yeah, with the announcement of Digitalbau, I'm more or less on the end of my show, but I will be next month traveling. I go to the US and I go before to another event. So we are big on the road shows, or on the road. We take our camera with us. There will be coming some very cool stories. Stay tuned. The best is to don't miss this, subscribe to the channel. So that would be good. Leave a comment. Tell us a friend, especially for all people from around the world. I think it's the algorithm for YouTube make it not so easy for us as German-speaking channel to coming big in the international community. That's the reason why I need your likes, I need your subscription, that this channel is more shown in a wider public, and this help us to grow. I say bye-bye. Thanks, Eric.